start. And we're recording. What up? We are live. We are recording. Welcome to the Kickflix podcast, your favorite podcast where you come to watch and listen to guys talk and review and rewatch your favorite martial arts movies. Let's go ahead.
We should observe the ancient ritual of traditional pre-fight donuts.
Yeah! Fear does not exist in this dojo, does it?
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this time?
Shut up!
Break, not hit back.
Silly Caucasian girl likes to play with samurai swords.
You will all refer to me by the name Betty.
I know Kung Fu.
Thank you, Chuck Norris.
I said I don't want trouble.
Only a ninja can destroy a ninja.
Defeat does not exist in this dojo, does it? No, Sensei!
Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
All right. I am Neri Bottle. Was it? Bottle Breaker Science. Yeah, I'm sorry. I couldn't even read what I wrote. Yeah, Bottle Breaker Science. With me, as usual, is Mike, coming up with a nickname, Mercadal, and Jeff Throat Punch Mercancini.
Are we gonna change it every time? Do I need to come up with other ones?
Oh, I just did it for this movie specifically. There you go, Mike White Tiger Mercadal.
That is me.
Get it? Because he golfs. Oh no, sorry. What? Go ahead.
All right. What is the Wikipedia description?
Well, yeah, let's do it. We Rumble in the Bronx released in 1995. Although I think it didn't come to the United States till 1996. I don't remember. I don't have the specific details, but it's originally released in 1995. Rumble in the Bronx, starring Jackie Chan. A young man visiting and helping his uncle in New York City finds himself forced to fight a street gang and the mob with his martial arts skills. All of that factually correct. Oh, man. Do we do Parents Guide or are we squaring up first?
Oh, we got to do Parents Guide first.
Yeah, Parents Guide first.
Parents Guide first? Okay, yeah, because we got to make sure that we are showing this to the right people and parents can choose to see this with their children. What do you Rumble in the Bronx rated R, which I think is kind of odd for it to be rated R.
Yes and no.
What about it is R rated? I would think about that as we go through this.
Okay.
Sex and nudity.
Mild. The tiger scene is the only real sexy part, and the butt showing the butt. So maybe that might have moved it to moderate.
Maybe, but it is in fact mild. No sex scenes. The protagonist sees two men carrying a screaming woman. Angelo pulls down his pants, exposing his butt, saying, "You kiss my ass." Asterisk, because these people will not have that kind of language.
Of course not.
And will let you go. One part of the movie takes place in a strip club. Women are dancing in underwear, which that's not what a strip club is.
No, she's a go-go dancer. That's not a strip.
It's a go-go dancer in beautiful fake New York City. What is this? The protagonist seems to have two love interests, a businesswoman and a stripper. Then he couples with the stripper who is quite a bit younger than him. Where are they getting that? Again, I would love to know how much, or I would see the other reviews of this person, from this person. A timestamp, 1 hour, 6 minutes and 9 seconds. A woman stands up from a toilet. A small part of her thighs are shown.
Oh yeah, yep. yes, they are.
I can concur to that.
Yes,
was that an Amish person that did that review?
This is wild. A man's clothing is torn and his buttocks are exposed. Again, maybe not English first language, maybe something like that. But boy, this is
buttocks.
This is specific. Violence and gore. Where are we at?
I'm gonna say moderate because of the wood chipper. Even though you don't see it, but like with a wood chipper, and then he's carrying the bag of the of the body parts in there.
Yeah, but you don't see it.
I know,
bro. Jackie Chan gets slaughtered in the hallway. I mean, the alleyway.
the
that he's covered in blood all over the place.
Your namesake, Bottle Breaker.
Yeah.
Happens because
Yeah, I would say no. I would say I agree with moderate. I don't agree because of the reasoning that Jeff was giving because of the fact that it was the wood chipper. But the bottle thing, actually, I got to be honest with you. Rewatching it now, that scene, I was like, like I was like, oh, it makes me like seeing people get cut makes me uncomfortable.
It's like death by 1,000 cuts. Like,
yeah, I can see people. I can see people getting shot on screen, and that doesn't bother me. But seeing people get cut really like. I have that feeling of like, oh, I'm getting cut. Like, ugh.
Oh, really? So it is moderate. There's a lengthy fight in the market between one man and a group of men. Obviously.
Right.
There's a brutal fight in an alley between a man and a biker gang. They beat him and then smash bottles at him with a baseball bat. A surprising amount of blood is seen, and the man is greatly hurt, but the group leaves him. True. A long chase in which a group of bikers chase an injured man through a city. Some destruction is seen. A man fights several of them briefly. There's a large chase at the end. God, lots of chases. In which a large inflatable air vehicle is involved and destruction is visible. This isn't violence or gore, but whatever.
Did they have a limit that they had to get to in words instead of just saying hovercraft? They said,
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. There's a pretty long
vehicle that's inflated with air and travels on land or sea.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
there's a long and pretty brutal fight in the biker gangs hangout. Two men fight one-on-one on a pool table.
Yeah.
And two men fight one-on-one. It leads to an all-out brawl. One of the men in the mob is people, blah, blah, blah. A person gets shoved into a wood chipper while still alive. Mm-hmm. Not graphic, but very disturbing, and no blood is shown. It is later implied that the man's remains are seen in a trash bag as characters look inside and are quite disgusted. Nothing is shown. This is one of those like times where I'm a firm believer of that if you show too much, it loses some of its power. Mm-hmm. Like reading the description of that, I'm like, holy fuck, that did happen.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember it being like that big a deal, and as I watched it, I was just watching it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's gross. But reading it like that, I'm like, oh my god, yeah.
I was more.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I did. That escalated quickly. I remember watching that. I just watched this movie like 2 hours ago, and I remember watching it going when the guy came in with the bags. I go, two things. One, shout out to him for actually carrying the bags because I would not have. I would not have. And then two, how there were no bags in that scene. That's something that you can't just pick up afterwards. Like you have to put the bag.
You have to put the bag inside.
Yeah, you have to catch the remains as they fall. You can't just pick that up.
That's what they. All right, that's even grosser. Like there's some guy standing off camera with a rake.
Yeah,
ready to just pull. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking. Where are we at?
Alcohol. They were all drinking, and
at the bar. Yeah, they were drinking at the club. At the club, they were drinking.
I'd still say it's mild.
Mild, yeah. Mild. People drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
Frightening and intense scenes.
I
think this is where it comes in a little bit more.
I think it's what's the next one? What did we say? It's mild, moderate, and severe.
I think it's severe. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to take the fact that you don't know because then that means it's moderate.
Yeah.
But
there's no way. But the frightening and intense scenes. This is not a frightening movie. Like Jackie Chan's movies aren't really frightening because you always expect him to.
Have you seen a tuxedo?
God, I hope so soon. No.
Starring Jennifer Love Hewitt. Yes, of course. I've seen everything that lady's in.
Yep.
I love that lady, and I will watch whatever garbage pile she's in.
Yeah.
Except Ghost Whisperer. I've only seen like one episode.
I would have.
I would watch everything she's in, except the one thing she's really known for. Everything else, other than that,
no, she's in the client list or whatever.
Yes,
the one where she's a.
I know.
Yeah,
I know, but she's known for the Ghost Whisperer was her show.
Yeah,
she's a masseuse.
I saw one episode. I'm like, that's enough. That's enough.
I'm good. I'm good.
The Ghost Whisperer. Shut the.
You can watch it. You can watch it on mute, Mike. For it doesn't matter.
For that, I'll just watch Can't Hardly Wait again. A person. So the frightening and intense scenes is moderate. A person gets into a wood chipper, whatever. Jackie Chan is trapped at a dead end. Gang members throw bottles. That was lots of blood is shown. I think the blood on that was the real clincher. Another time, when Jackie Chan is trapped on a high building by the gang, he attempts to jump across a wide gap to a fire escape on another building. Portrayed for maximum thrills, Jackie makes the distance and lands safely at his intended target.
Which,
how is that?
I don't know.
Like, bad.
I guess intense because he's so high up.
Oh, intense,
kind of thing.
Sure. And, and if you watch it, like the clip of like in the outtakes at the end, it is like one of those things where afterwards everyone's just like, because who knows? Like that shit's crazy.
Well,
when you think about how.
Yeah, no, the director was also the stunt coordinator, and he is known for he won't ask his actors to do something until he does it first. So he did it first, the director, like as they were testing it out, the shot, but he did it with a harness originally. He goes, no, it's going to be way safer without the harness. So they took the harness off because I guess the way they were jumping and potentially, I guess, hitting through the things. But he did it, and then Jackie did it without the harness. But he did it. He does most of the stunts first if it's something pretty heavy, so that the actors feel more comfortable. They're like, "Look, I'm not going to ask you to do something that I won't do first."
But he didn't. I'll tell you what, he didn't jump onto that fucking hovercraft like Jackie Chan did and blew out his fucking ankle.
Yeah.
Profanity. Where are we at?
That's probably going to be because the two bad words. I'm pretty sure they said no. I say moderate. I think they said dropped a couple F-bombs.
Yeah,
moderate. Three uses of F * K, and here we go. I love these receipt ones. Several uses of bitch, shit, and ass, but they are infrequent. 5 uses of bitch, 2 paired with stupid. 10 uses of shit, 7 uses of damn, 1 used with God. 4 uses of shut up. 3 uses of hell. 4 uses of ass, 1 used with hole, 1 used with scum, 3 uses of fuck, 1 use of oh god.
Ass scum.
I think that's where it earned its rated R.
This has to be a fundamentally Christian person who's like doing the good work of cataloging all of the profanities.
Doing the Lord's work, man.
Doing the Lord's work. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at with the parents.
Can you imagine if that's the reason why this person gets into heaven? Like the day of judgment comes and God opens up the book and be like, "Oh, you're the one that's inputting the receipts into IMDb?
That was you?
Come on in. You're good.
Here. I hope you give us a good review."
Oh my god, that's wild.
So the tagline for the movie, there's just one on IMDb, and it's "No fear, no stuntman, no equal."
I remember when this movie came out, seeing like the fact that he did his own stunts, like that was a huge fucking deal.
Absolutely.
Like but in the era before CGI and before green screen and blue screen and all that stuff, I would say before the Star Wars prequels came out, and maybe even like Jurassic Park was like the beginning of things not being as dangerous as they should be. But like the fact that you're watching Jackie Chan jump and land in the same shot, no cuts, was like next level. Like, oh my god, no one on earth. Who on earth could possibly do this amazing thing?
I'm glad that he landed all of those, and that the movie didn't change from, hey, we're running away from a gang, to, oh, I need my face off and I'm gonna come back and be a different actor all of a sudden. Because that's what would have happened had Jackie died after like 40 minutes of filming. They would have been like, but we have 40 minutes in the can though, so just change the story. Game of Death 2, Electric Boogaloo.
It's like a sock puppet. But yeah. No, I will talk about
if you know about like kung fu. Well, yeah, we have to do our.
You want to do your if you want to do the 60-second.
Are we calling it square up? We got to square up. It's got to be. We got to square up.
Sure.
I will say that my square up is that when I first heard about this movie, I was heavily into doing martial arts, and I was in that zone of my life where I was training, and watching like bootleg kung fu movies, stuff you couldn't get here, like watching Chow Yun Fat movies that you couldn't get in the United States, and old like Bruce Lee movies, and then someone was like, you have to watch Jackie Chan movies like to get like a different feel. And because I went to like a Bruce Lee martial arts thing, they was like, no. But this movie came out, and I was like, it was so fucking cool. And it was also at a time when I lived at the movies. I used to theater hop a lot. My friend lived right next to Miller Square movie theater.
Oh man, wow.
Yeah. And I would go to the movie theater at like noon, and then I would be there till like midnight. Like we would just live in the movie theater. Which is like impossible now. I don't know how you could pull it off now, but like we would sneak in the back door
with a pillow. There was no way I could do that without falling asleep in the theater. At some point, I would just fall asleep.
I think sometimes we did, but the idea of like just being like that's where we hung out was at this movie theater, to the point where like the manager even gave up like trying to catch us. Like he would just see us and he would just be like, "Come on, guys," and he's like, and then we'd be like, "No, we'll buy a ticket. We'll buy a ticket."
I could just picture Mike and his friend running in between movie theaters, and then the Benny Hill song playing.
Yeah.
And then the manager just running after them.
It's like Scooby Doo, where we run out of one theater and then come out of another theater, like a different door. Like, but yeah, that was the time when this movie came out, and I must have watched this movie 100 times. And then I like, yeah, this one I could have even done this whole show without watching the movie because I know it so well. And that was like my first foray into like Jackie Chan and I think in the United States too, because it was the first big theatrical release.
Yep.
That was one of the big deals. So it was like my first foray into this style of movie that was like new to me and like change. Like, oh my god, like I fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this movie to me, when much like when we did Bloodsport, to me this is without any qualms. This is on my Mount Rushmore of Kickflix movies. I grew up watching this movie over and over and over and over again. Like this was one of my favorite movies when I was little watching it. This is where my love of Jackie Chan blossomed, was from this movie, seeing the action sequences, seeing everything. I think it's got the right mix of the comedy, the action. I mean, you had the hot girl and in a bikini with a tiger. So like young me was all about it. Yeah.
What a smoke show.
She was I didn't realize she was in Arrow. Oof. She was part of the
she was part of the flashback into the island Arrow. Yeah.
But I never get like rewatching it again today. I don't get tired of watching this movie. I enjoy it. I think it's a quintessential martial arts movie for people that everybody should watch at some point. I have no qualms about it at all. I've always been a fan of Jackie Chan. I know Neri's not as huge a fan of Jackie Chan, but to me, this is on the Mount Rushmore for me of Kickflix movies for sure.
Yeah,
I saw this movie in theaters. I saw this movie. It came out in '96 in the U.S. It came out in February '96, and I saw this movie in theaters, and I was all sold on the hype of like he does his own stunts, and I thought this was really cool. This might be my favorite Jackie Chan movie because he doesn't do the quote unquote comedy, which I just call the slapstick. I'm not a fan of that when it comes to my martial arts. I don't need somebody going like, "Ow, my hand hurts." Like I get it. That's what separates him from the other martial artists in the film industry. At least it did at that time. But he didn't have any of that. This movie. In this movie, it wasn't like any of it silly or whatever. The dubbing did take getting used to for me when I first saw it in theaters, because I was like, what the fuck? Because I was, some dumb American kid going like, what? That's not what he's saying. I don't know why I did a fucking I just did a Brian Regan. That's not what he's saying.
Yeah.
So but I just didn't so I saw the movie when it came out in theaters, had not seen it since. So I have not seen this movie since '96.
Wow.
And I was starting to watch it again, and I wanted to be like, this is a lot of convoluted fucking storylines coming together in one place.
Yes.
To some extent there is some of that, but I'm just like, nah, the fucking martial arts really sells it for me, man. It really fucking does.
The story is only enough story to connect fight scenes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, but they
him,
use multiple, like the fact that it is like a gang, that's one thing. And then they use a gang, and then they show, first of all, the UN of gangs. Shout out to the
how
fucking, I mean,
diverse.
just how
Yeah,
diverse. They have a
incredible
guy speaks,
diversity.
they have a guy that speaks Cantonese. They have the leaders American. They have one guy that looked like a Native American who was just at least in the stereotypical Native American gear. And I
Right.
was like, what the fuck? Like, so it was like, shout out to you guys, man.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that Jackie's uncle got married to a black lady, and
Yeah.
he could not hide his surprise.
Yeah.
He could not
He even
hide.
went up to
The
the other
outtakes
lhe
are
He's like, "Hey,
hilarious.
auntie. Hey, auntie."
Yeah,
And it's
Yeah,
like,
he
the
was
outtakes are
fucking
hilarious.
shook. He was fucking shook. Like, what? She's
What?
black.
s-
What? It was
but
hilarious.
you had mentioned about the dubbing. So yeah, they did. The thing was, they cast the people they wanted to be in the movie, but nobody really could speak English well. So they literally filmed the movie where everybody spoke in their own native languages.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
it's
why
very much, it was very much like the spaghetti westerns, that's the way those were filmed, where it's like everybody speaks that's why Clint Eastwood was like, what? That
Yeah.
wasn't a Clint Eastwood face. He was just confused as to what the fuck the guy was saying. Like,
Yeah.
what are you, I don't know.
Well, the thing
Oh, is
is
it my
also-
turn?
Yeah, the thing is that a lot of these like Chinese movies that, or movies out of Hong Kong and China, that they purposefully did not, because there was so much action and wire work and all that stuff. They would, up until like even the late 90s, early 2000s, they were just all dubbed, regardless of whether it was even in the same language or not. Like they were just all dubbed because they would shoot so fast. They'd crank out these movies, and not having to worry about sound, they would have sound on the day, and then they would like, whatever, and then they would add everything in post. And that's why even like later, like more modern martial arts movies from China still felt like 70s movies. It's because that's how they shot. That was just the style of the movie. Was, we'll deal with the talking later.
right.
That is not why people come to these movies. They are not coming to, they like, we know what our product is, and that is what we are doing. But in this case, it's extra difficult because they're speaking English. They're English speakers speaking English lines that are dubbed over by other actors. So it's like when you know how when your voice is, you're on a phone call and you can hear the echo or the delay of them, where you're just like your brain can't quite like lock in, like you're just like, and especially that Angelo. Okay, two people in this movie that
Angelo
fucking suck as characters, just terrible. Angelo, fuck that guy. I hated Angelo. Also, wheelchair kid. Fuck you, man. What an annoying voice they chose for this child. I feel bad for like whoever the kid actor is. Kian,
That's my best friend. He's my
Kian.
friend. That's my sister.
I can just imagine.
Really
Can you
hot,
imagine?
too.
Can you imagine the director? I need you to go up an octave
Yes.
and more annoying. I
Higher
need more annoying.
and louder. Just higher and louder. If we could just get.
I just love how he was like pimping out his sister.
Yeah, hey,
It's
look
like,
at how hot my
hey,
sister is.
I know you almost died, but you want to put it in her because
Yeah.
she's pretty hot. I'm just saying.
I like how quickly, I guess when we're getting into the movie now, I like how quickly Jackie went from like, I'm a tourist in this town in this strange new land, to give me a white sweater and we're gonna be riding bike in a fucking park. Like he immediately was like, hey, didn't you set me up to be killed the other day? That's cool, don't worry about it. Your brother's in a wheelchair, I get it, I understand. Why don't we go into a Hallmark movie now? It's like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what happened?
Again, the story is just enough to connect fight scenes. Just enough.
I would disagree on that though, because there's some deepness in this movie. Okay, there is some deepness because in that scene, he realized how much the annoying kid in the wheelchair looked up to his sister, and so he didn't want to crush his dream of like, and the image he had of his sister, with that whole speech of, I wish sometimes I could walk again and my legs worked so that I could play in the park like those other sisters do with their brothers. And I feel bad for my sister because I can't give her that.
Yeah, man, fuck that
Like-
kid. I don't care. I don't care about like they're shoving. Like, don't shove an emotion. I will say this: there is that like the emotional connection I had more with the store than the connection I had to the people. Like when they fuck up the store, and that lady is like, just like my business, like that whole thing that she's like, I sacrificed everything to, and they fuck up her store. Like a part of me gets viscerally angry, and also just how
Actually, fuck that lady too.
yeah.
You know what you said? Those two. Fuck that lady.
I hate big.
She's
business.
a diamond digger, man. She was a diamond digger.
Bro, she's like, oh, thanks for staying. By the way, we work at 6 a.m. Blah, blah. He's like, no, bitch, I just said, like, I'll help you out a little bit. Like, you're not paying me. Like, you even told me I had to pay for my own food. It wasn't until I fucking karate chopped all these people that suddenly you're giving me bread for free. Like, fuck
that
you.
threw me for a loop. I legit thought she was going to hook up with Jackie. Even rewatching it now, I forgot that Jackie hooks up with the fucking hot chick. I thought he was going to hook up with the store owner. The way they were making eyes at each other, and they're like, oh, in the beginning, I was like, oh, they're gonna hook up. And then Jackie's like, oh no, a hotter chick likes me. So peace out. I'm fucking.
You wouldn't let me in the bathroom, so I'm gonna go with this other girl.
She's gonna let me in anywhere. Trust me. This chick lets everybody in. I'm better off.
Well, so here's the thing.
I put in the work. I pushed her brother around.
The hooker with a heart of gold trope exists for a reason, because we all like, that's one of those things that, like, in storytelling, there's the good thing, the bad person doing the bad thing because of the circumstance, but they're really a good person and you redeem them.
Yeah, just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean you're a bad guy.
Well, it's like every rom-com where, like, the guy is a fucking douche, and then you're like, I'm supposed to root, like, in new light. Like, if you watch like a rom-com from the 80s and you're like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, like if you watch
Zach Morris is the fucking
example.
quintessential fucking this guy's the worst.
Fuck that guy.
This guy's a horrible human being.
And there's something that I remember someone showed a clip one time of Saved by the Bell where I was just like, it can't possibly be as bad as they're saying. And I watched it, and I out loud said, "Damn!"
There's an entire.
It was a lady where he was like dating a girl in a wheelchair.
Yes.
Something.
Oh yeah, that's the bad.
Like,
that's the one.
Damn.
He's like, clap it up for her because she's the only one that's really in a wheelchair. The rest of us could actually walk. We were just doing this basketball game for shits and giggles, but this bitch is really.
There was an entire thing online that it was Zach Morris is an asshole, and they just showed trash, and they would just show clips of it.
Yeah,
but
that was one of the things. But like, that's the thing, and this, like, a lot of these tropes, all of this stuff is classic. Oh, the shop owner or like the innkeeper in like a lot of the classic kung fu movies that needs help from a roving gang. Like, none of it is new storytelling,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, none of it's new. So it's like they serve it up to you like, we know you dummies. You get it. You've seen this 1,000 times, whatever. We're not trying to break new ground here. But look at Jackie Chan jump from one building to another. That's what it is.
Let me ask you, though, because I know Zach Morris is trash, but do you think he would have at least given a kid in a wheelchair a Game Gear that had an actual game in it?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Because that kid was really excited for a Game Gear that had nothing in it.
Hey, kid, you're super excited. Here's a Game Gear. By the way, you now are responsible to fucking put in 6 batteries every day.
You
gotta get 6. You gotta get 6 new batteries, 6 AA batteries every fucking day, because that's how it's the only way it's gonna work.
And there's no game in there. That's the one.
Yeah,
of the,
there's no games at all in there.
He seems like he's having a great old time.
Yeah.
Fuck that kid. I don't care anything about that kid. I'm like, yeah, whatever. His pillow's lumpy. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, whatever. Who cares?
You can't even feel it.
That's what I was gonna say. Damn. I was like, should I say it?
He can't even, but it's the fucking truth. If he's a quadriplegic, he can't fucking feel it.
No,
this pillow's lumpy.
Mike's favorite part of the movie was when the guy with the terrible mullet slapped the shit out of the kid.
No. I don't. No. It's not that I don't mind.
Mike was like, yeah. Some heroes don't wear capes. Some heroes don't wear capes.
Sometimes they have terrible haircuts. Yeah.
There was that guy that had the double mohawk, like the dude from Prodigy. Yeah. That's the dude that carries the garbage bag.
Yes.
Yeah. That he's like, help. help. Like the line delivery on that is like, please, like it's like
hey, that dude put his everything into that.
Yeah, bro. That
fucking movie.
guy, that guy
That one
acted
line.
the fuck out of that, bro.
Yeah.
That guy went to fucking he was like, I am an actor. He's fucking doing that shit.
But when I was talking also about like the deepness on and shit like that, bro, Jackie's speech at the club at the hangout after the fight that's behind Mike, that speech was like
a little preachy. It's a little preachy.
But that was the best. Like, did he really say that?
Don't you guys know you're the scum of society? Like, Jesus, Jackie.
Yeah, no, and then he's like, I hope one day we can have tea together. And he's like, did he really say that? You know what? I'm gonna change my ways. I'm gonna be good now.
Well, you know what doesn't bother. So like, I totally get that the street level gang is like the street level gang is this big gang, and of course there's somebody that is in charge of street level crime,
right?
In like if there is an organized crime situation, the diamond heist and all that stuff that gets caught up, and like I get it. There's and everybody knows Angelo's a fuck up, and everybody knows that Tony is the guy, and it's just the coincidence of him literally like landing in the lap of. It all started because of the car, right?
Well, because they were doing that drag race.
The race, no, they were doing the race dirt bikes. Over the dirt bikes over the cars,
and that the guy had lent him the car. Like who would lend a nice car like that to anybody in the Bronx, especially after the owner at the beginning was like, no, this is a shitty neighborhood. But let me put the super expensive
my whole thing was that is like, why didn't you lend it to him tomorrow, the day?
Yeah, why don't you just bring it tomorrow?
That's where are you gonna put like that immediately? Again, I haven't seen this movie since '96, so immediately I forgot all about it. So I'm watching this going, where are you gonna put that? Where are you gonna park that? Like, parking's a bitch in New York City. Like, why would you?
Oh my god! No, well, also let's just address the anti-New Yorkness of Vancouver. Like, it does not look like New York at all. It doesn't feel like.
Well,
New York at all.
I think the uncle's apartment in the Bronx. What did he say? 3,000 square feet.
Yeah,
I was like, that dude is paying $1 billion a month.
Yeah.
Or he bought it like a million years ago, and it's just been sitting there.
Well, he did say 30 years. He did say that he's been in the country for 30 years.
To be fair, 30 years before 1996, 1966 in New York. New York was a piece of shit for a long time. I
have a close friend of mine that I think, Mike, you might know him, that he moved to New York, and his dad had bought the apartment. Bought the apartment in the 70s, and it's rent controlled, and it's like in the middle of Manhattan, and it's $700 a month for like a pretty decent sized studio apartment for $700 a month since the 70s. That's what the rent's been. Like,
and it's rent control? Well, it depends on what. So the whole point is that, none of this feels like New York, right? Until, or I'll say this, only after moving to New York does this feel like. So much. I mean, I could tell it wasn't New York when I was a kid, watching the movie, whatever, for the first time. But
I watched it 2 hours ago. I'm like, oh, they shot in New York. That's cool.
It looked more like the Double Dragons.
I thought it looked like I thought it looked like early '90s New York. I'm like, that's what early '90s
they were.
New York
One of the
like.
things Jackie said in his book was that they had to spray paint the graffiti to make it look like New York every day, and then wash it off because Vancouver wouldn't let them leave it on for filming.
Yeah.
So they would have to take it off, then repaint it again, then take it off, then repaint it again over and over and over again. That's their way of making it look like New York.
Does this book come on tape? And if so, does he do the reading?
I don't know.
Can you imagine that shit? Like, oh, this book is awful. I can't get through this fucking book.
What? Jackie Chan? Wait, what are you saying?
His Jackie Chan's biography.
Yeah,
he was like, it's the audiobook.
Does he do the reading? Does he do the reading for his autobiography?
Biography? Well, if it's his autobiography, then I would.
He hired
Can
Chris
I get
Tucker.
It dubbed?
Yeah. But
I'm looking through like the plot synopsis, and I'm trying to like pick out moments where, first of all, yes, the hovercraft thing. Once it's like out in the open, and it obviously doesn't feel like New York. Like,
right.
Where was that beach? You know what I mean? Like they got all.
I gotta be honest with you. at that point, I forgot that this is supposed to be in New York, where there's a fucking hovercraft. At that
Yeah,
point,
there's a
I'm just
hovercraft
like,
fight. Like
it's like a hovercraft fight, and then the police aren't shooting the fucking air. Like, okay, it's just, this hovercraft is shooting machine guns at a police helicopter, and the police aren't gonna even attempt to shoot.
Yeah.
Why does it take a fucking foreigner to get a sword in a Ferrari? Like, how much money was thrown at this fucking at a Lamborghini? How much money was thrown at this last scene? They were like, just fucking keep up.
And I love that the sword was the same paint job.
Jackie, we have a Lamborghini here. Are we gonna do anything with that?
Yeah, and it was the same paint job.
Something.
Yeah,
it was the sword. It was like the most random fucking Conan the Barbarian sword that has just like 80 million like spiked edges to it that he happens to be by a medieval shop. That it was hanging there like a freaking Looney Tune, like right in the window.
Yeah, it was like in case of emergency, break glass
with a
for
neon
giant-
sign with a neon sign that said "swords for sale." Swords for sale.
But I think the story actually, I think they did pretty decent in tying everything together with it. They did okay.
They did okay with it. They did okay with it. I was surprised as far because I don't think it was necessary to go the diamond smuggler route. Like, you could have just had a simpler story with the gang, and you have that, and you could have extended that storyline. They added in the diamond thief and the over exposition with the radio. Hey, there's a heist and blah blah blah. But they added that part in, which I'm not saying it didn't work. I'm just saying, like what Mike was saying, like, we're not here for story. Why are you adding more of this? Like, I don't understand why.
Well, the only reason I think that works is because the level of money, like, it would have never gotten to hovercraft levels of danger. I don't think.
Well, not with that fucking mentality. Not with that logic.
While you said what I was saying is that, of course, a street level gang would be corralled by a much larger organized crime situation if they got too big, and this looks like a big kind of like crime, like street level crime organization, very diverse, a lot of diverse hiring options.
You have to be 6'5" or above.
Yeah, like multiple hangouts, multiple. What do they call them?
That guy died, by the way. The leader. Yeah, that guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, now?
He died filming a movie. He was a stuntman, and a piece of debris hit his head. A piece of debris for a stunt that he wasn't even doing. He was just watching the debris. He was just watching somebody else do the stunt.
Well, he did not watch the debris.
Yeah, and he watched it go into his head. And
shit.
Yeah. He died at I think it was like 98 or something. He died
a little after this movie, like right after.
Yeah, it was crazy.
See, but I disagree. I think that
I just got reminded. I got reminded of that because Jeff was like, "You have to be 6'3" or taller." I'm like, "He's 6 feet under."
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Damn.
Too soon? Is that too soon? All right.
Damn.
I want to go back though. I kind of disagree with you on the whole idea of why did they have to bring them in, because I think. Remember, this was his first major Hollywood movie.
I liked it, by the way. By the way, I'm not saying this in a negative way. I'm saying like, I'm astounded as to why they brought in so much story, because I was just here for the fight scenes. I was actually surprised that there was so much story. I'm not saying it in a negative. I'm just saying, like, I don't even think this was necessary. Jackie, you could have just streamlined this whole fucking story, but he didn't write it. I'm just saying.
I feel like the way they did it, because since this was his like big coming out to the American audience, kind of. Because it was the first big Hollywood picture, like they wanted to show you, oh look, Jackie, he's so respected at how nice he is and stuff like that. Like, look, he converted all these hoodlums and realized the error of their ways to go up against the bigger bad guy.
He's not kicking their ass to beat their ass. He's kicking their ass to teach him a lesson.
Right.
He's honorable.
So that's the way I took it. And then they had the guys with the bad haircuts and 7 feet tall. Who can we talk about? Okay, because Mike's White Tiger thing. Let's talk about White Tiger for a second.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
What tournament was he playing in on the golf course that 7,000 people were watching him play golf by himself with nobody else?
The tournament was that if he wins, he gets to do whatever he wants. He gets to be in the new fuck! I fucked up the joke. I stumbled it. But I was gonna do the Caddyshack thing, where the whole bet, whatever the fuck the bet was for Caddyshack, right? You could bring in whoever you want into the association. That's what I was gonna
Like
say.
it's.
Like,
I just thought it was
Man, this
hysterical
girl's
that he's
so
there. Yeah, she's smoking.
God,
hot.
I'm looking through
Smoke show.
pictures.
Yeah,
She's
show.
so hot.
There, but my thing is like he's got all those people standing there and like on the green. They call him. He picks up the phone. He's like, "No, kill her and fuck that guy too. Kill all of them in front of all these people."
And it was like,
yeah, okay.
So is he sponsored by Nike? Is he sponsored? Who's?
Yeah, seriously.
Reebok.
Kill him.
I love the morality too of these people in that when they're chasing Jackie on the hovercraft on the beach, and he's like grabs the little child, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna rescue this child," and the guy's like, "Fucking run over them, kill those people." But then later on, when they're about to hit the worst punk rock concert ever,
Oh
the guy's
my
like,
God,
"No,
yeah.
stop! We gotta go around. We gotta go around the other way. You gotta let these guys be. Like, stop! No. The kid, fuck it." But those punk rockers, like, we gotta give them a break. So we gotta give them a break. You know, we gotta not kill anybody here. But fuck that little kid.
But the whole point of this is like, look, let's be honest. In the scope of Kickflix films, there's always a white tiger. You know what I mean?
Right.
When we watch like Enter the Ninja, there's that dude.
Yes.
There's always
And the
that
bearded
guy
too, right?
that he's just some guy manipulating money, and he's just like out to get wax. We're all out to get. Fuck, that's distracting. They're all out to get money. You know, there's all some sort of like bad businessman, which I think is like a Hong Kong trope of British businessmen, like. No, take it out. No, that is like gotta be like capitalism has gotta be the enemy in Chinese movies because of communism, right?
Well,
Like-
remember the whole thing with China was the whole that under British rule, Hong Kong and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So that was their way of portraying the bad guys as the people that were basically controlling them. You know?
Yeah, so it makes perfect sense that there's a white tiger-like figure in here.
Right.
Who cares what fucking tournament he's doing? You know
Yeah.
what? He could have been like, he's one of those dudes that the character is so wealthy. I'm gonna hire 100 sycophants to just follow me around the golf course and applaud me.
Yes, it was the most like I'm watching that. I'm like, this is the most ridiculous. And then the dude, when they're at the restaurant, and he's like, "Hey, he knows your name's White Tiger." He takes 2 steps away from the table.
Right.
Like he's not even like it's not. He's in listening range. Like Jackie be like, "I can hear you." Like what the fuck are you doing?
I would like to change this topic of conversation again to Kickflix fashions.
Oh my God! So
there
good.
is some high style going on, like
And high waistlines.
Going on in this movie. One of which you could see right behind Jeff, which is the tucked in, like that's not even like the undershirt.
No,
that I refuse to call by its other name.
Right.
It's not even like that. It's like it's literally just
a wife
tank top.
spanker.
No, none of that will be said. but yeah, like
I
that.
didn't say the other word.
I know. You
The
could
wife
call
corrector?
it literally anything else, Peter.
Oh shit.
Do you know Stan from Sports Center got in trouble because he said that phrase on air on Sports Center?
Oh
That
really?
he called the T-shirt.
He called the tank top. He called the tank top the spousal abuser.
Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to find nicer ways of saying it. I don't know.
No, I mean, just say whatever you say. But the idea of like saying that on ESPN.
Yeah, on ESPN.
Oofa doofa. I'm trying to find an image of the thing that is what I would believe to be ideal menswear. And it is the onesie thing that he is wearing when he's does the handstand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that not perfect?
Yes.
Why can't I find that
Absolutely.
shit anywhere?
But
in
he,
my
but he,
size.
but he's considering that. I guess he considers that underwear though.
Yeah, you just throw some
Yeah.
pants over that fucking tank
What-
top, 90s tank top tucked in t-shirt.
What is
situation.
what was the phrase? What was the phrase? This guy wore it as 007 too. Connery wore it, right?
A
He wore a
romper?
version of that.
Is it
A romper.
A romper.
Romper.
That's it. A romper. That's exactly it. So yeah, he wore a romper, and he considers it underwear, and I consider it sexy as shit. I'm good for you, Jackie. Go ahead.
But can we appreciate the drip on Jackie Chan in every movie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Every movie, I'm like, there's something where I'm like, fuck, I would wear that, or I wish I could wear that. Like the police
Go
story.
ahead, man. I don't think he's gonna mind.
Police story. No, but I can't find it. I'm a giant. I can't find that shit my size. These are Asian sizes. These are never going to fit me. Have you ever? I remember when I was in Japan and we were traveling. Like we passed through like this shopping mall district or area, and some of the girls I was with were like, "Oh, can we go in here?" And I'm like, "All right, fine." And I see a menswear store, and I walk in, and I'm like, and I could see the look of fear in their eyes, like to try and tell me that they don't have anything that fits me. And I was like, I'm just looking. It's okay. Don't worry about it. There's no way I could buy anything in here anyway. And it's like crazy, like the sheer giganticness of my size compared to like the average clothing.
So I want to mention something else in fashion, and I was looking for a photo and I can't find it, unfortunately. I want to know the business that the Confederate hat cowboy with the pickup truck filled with balls.
Yes, filled
that's
with
at the
rubber
top of the
balls.
garage.
Yeah,
Is that man had a Confederate flag cowboy hat on? And who transports rubber balls that way? Like just in a giant like cow transport.
Also, who gets out of his truck and allows a fucking gang to just throw it over a parking structure?
There was
Or,
straight murder that was gonna happen there.
That-
that was straight fucking murder.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that. You
Killed
killed
the
him.
guy. I found it. Hold on. Let me
You found
see.
it?
Yeah. But yeah, no, like the idea that
Oh yeah, that romper. Look at that.
the romper, man. I feel like that is all. So it's still got to fly.
I just
and
don't
there
like the buttons though.
No. The
You
other
got
one.
pants on?
The other one had buttons that go all the way up. That went all the way up. That's the other one. So he has multiple of these. But I'm telling you, man, this is there's like.
I hope he wasn't wearing that one backwards.
And that was the car that it's got the poop chute.
The poop chute, like those the red ones, those
With
red
the flap,
fan,
the butt flap down.
the butt flap.
Also, that's the car.
Yeah, which is a different color than what the other car was. Because in the other scenes, it's blue.
No, it's always white.
No, it's white the whole time.
It was
No, it's
blue in the
white.
other ones.
No.
I'm 90% certain.
That's not 100. Can we all just take a minute? I mean, good Lord. Can we all just take a minute?
I hope you show me Jackie
Oh
Chan.
my god, she is so stuck.
Yeah.
Come on.
You didn't put the tiger cage straddle in the bikini.
That looks.
That's not that hot to me. This is way hotter. Like where she's like looking at him sensually. This is way hotter than her going like.
That looks like
let's
it could
face
be a
not good
scene.
dance.
This looks like it could be a scene from Coming to America where they're doing a speed dating and,
Yes,
and it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and she's like, I believe in white tigers, and I'm like, what? Like this is.
But yeah, I will say, at a certain point in this movie, you're kind of just rooting for chaos, and it's right when that truck of balls gets destroyed. You're just like. You're like, how? What more could they do? Oh, truck full of balls, and you're like, thank you, Jackie Chan. You nailed it.
I was wondering if he was gonna
Mwah.
survive landing on that because of the rubber balls. Like it was gonna be some Acme fucking Roadrunner shit where there's like the rubber balls were able to stop him from completely falling on the floor. Like thank God he was on those rubber balls. Like that's what I thought was gonna happen. I'm telling you, I forgot this movie. I haven't seen this movie in 28 years. I haven't seen it. I'm like, oh okay.
Nah, I'm a man. Like I want to watch it again. But
Yeah, look, wait, I found the guy I was talking about.
Oh, you can't see it.
Hold on, let me take off the background. Hold on.
Oh no, I completely know who you're talking about.
Yeah, we absolutely
We
know.
absolutely know.
There was no question like which guy with the rubber.
This dude with his tie-dye shirt and his Confederate flag.
That's one of those. That's one of those things that, like, in like superhero movies where the city's destroyed and someone has to come clean it up. Someone has to go get all those balls. Like someone has. So it's someone's job in the movie and in real life to go like, all right, kabloom, kaboom, bloom, 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 and then they're just like.
I just wonder if they invited all the kids of the neighborhood to be like, all right, guys, go ahead, get your balls. Like,
yeah, maybe.
Just stand right here. They're gonna come to you.
All right, what are we giving for what does this movie get for reviews?
All right, Rotten Tomatoes, the critics have it at 80% and the audience 65%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's shocking. The audience is lower. Audience wow.
Yeah.
That is okay.
Wrong.
It's
Incorrect.
Rumble in the Bronx is certified fresh.
Yeah, I doubt that. God, no, that makes me feel bad. Critics like it more, substantially more than viewers.
That just knocked 3 points off of my thing.
Yeah, that's a weird. Is there another Kickflix movie that's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes that we've done so far?
I'd have to look.
I would guess Bruce Lee's would be the only one that might make it.
Enter the Dragon would probably be the only one I'm thinking.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it wouldn't be Young Buck. It would not be Street Fighter, barely.
Yeah, but then again, Enter the Fat Dragon with Donnie Yen 69% by the critics. So that says a lot.
Ong Bak is probably high, no?
Not certified fresh. Not certified fresh.
And no, yeah, it is. Ong Bak is certified fresh. Ong Bak is a closer than what I would think this movie would be. 85% by critics, 84% by audience.
So but that's man, that's interesting. I wonder like why. I wish I could find like what the general consensus of.
Let me look at the ratings and see if I can just pick a random one.
Well, because the general consensus of Ong Bak is the action is amazing and everything
I'm talking
you
about
said.
this movie. I'm talking about this movie. Like, why is there such a big difference between critics in this?
I think it's because when the movie came out, people were very thrown back by the dubbing.
Yeah, maybe, but
I know I was like, this is cool. I'm never gonna watch this again. Like I remember in '96 saying to myself, this is cool. The action was cool, but I don't want to. Like I never thought to myself. I remember one time in '97, I said, I'll watch this in 20-something years when there's a podcast, when I'm hosting a podcast. But until then,
I found I found one 3 out of 5 review on Rotten Tomatoes. This is from 2016. I haven't seen a gang of scumbags transform as quickly since Zed and his crew in Police Academy 2. As soon as Jackie gets a sniff, he has no problem joining forces and taking down a real cop magnet kingpin. As always, the stunts are spectacular. So, but it's like, so they gave him a 3 stars.
About the story?
Yeah.
Get the fuck.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I think that's what the problem. Yeah. All right. So what do Google users give this one?
Well, he looks that up. Budget was 7.5 million. Gross worldwide was 32.3 million.
Rumble in the Bronx. I will tell you, the IMDb score is 6.7 out of 10, which is again in line with the fucking Rotten Tomatoes. But like, I still don't. Man, I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know what else.
I don't get it. It should be higher. But that's again, we are the 3 guys making a martial arts movie podcast. So we view these movies a little more like, I guess, with a little more reverence than
we also take it for what it is. We're not going in here expecting to see, fucking Academy Award winning. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not like I'm not going to see this movie. It's like it was gonna be between Good Will Hunting and Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I couldn't find the Google users.
Yeah.
Because I can't. I don't have my phone handy with me, so I can't find the Google users. The Google reviews.
I don't know. What? So
91%.
Oh wait. 91%. 91% by Google users. So
well, there we go. That's who we're siding with. Google wins on this one. Because I agree with Google.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your review, Mike? We gotta hurry up because we gotta do the reviews and then we gotta do the movie.
Absolutely, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it 4.5 out of 5 trash bags full of body parts, because like it is. It's almost like the perfect Kickflix movie for me. I think Bloodsport is still like might be the best good bad kick because I like this movie. It's genuinely it's hard for me to like judge it, but 4.5 like 4.5 out of 5. Like it's almost perfect.
Jeff,
and you can
what do you give it?
Watch it whenever you want.
I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 new wheelchair seats. New cushions.
Fuck up, kid.
Yeah. Like I said, this would be on my mountain of Kickflix movies. I great action. I like the story. The dubbing is what it is. Like I said, it's something that they did a lot when the time these movies were coming out. I that doesn't take it away from me because at least they didn't, you didn't have to just do subtitles, Neri. Like they actually dubbed it so you can actually follow dialogue without having to.
I watched it with subtitles anyway. I watch movies with captions all the time.
But I love the movie. I never get tired of watching it. Rewatching again today, it felt the same. So
I would give it 4.5 out of 5 bottles to the head. Because because I have to take away for the dubbing only because I took away for the dubbing in the Jet Li movie that we watched. I took away something for the dubbing there. So I think it's only fair. But I enjoyed the fuck. I actually caught myself literally saying, "Hey man, this isn't bad. This is actually a good." Like I literally caught myself. I thought I was gonna like it less than I did. Then I ended up liking it. So let's go ahead and shoot the spin the wheel.
So it's a definite recommend. Everyone should go.
Yeah,
watch
absolutely.
I don't know if you're listening to this podcast and haven't seen Rumble in the Bronx. It's like Bloodsport. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
All right. Get your shit together, man. All right, we're going to go to spin the wheel. Make sure you go to kickflixpod@gmail.com. Send us your picks to see. I don't know if this wheel specifically is updated because I'm on the road, so I don't know if this is the same one that I have at home. But if we end up picking a movie,
we'll just film us doing another.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Here comes the boom.
Here comes the boom.
Oh, God.
Wow.
This has to be the newest movie that we're gonna watch, right?
Christ.
I guess so, yeah.
Oh my! No, is Creed was probably
no,
after.
but that we've seen.
Oh, that we've seen so far, yeah.
Yeah, we have not seen a newer movie.
Lord
Here comes
have mercy.
The boom. All right, so there you go. Here comes the boom. I like the fact that the reaction.
I love this movie.
Yeah, the reaction for the panel is very all over the place. I legitimately like this movie. So
I think I saw this movie once. I saw this movie once, but I don't remember anything
Baz
from
Rutten is the fucking best. You will not convince me otherwise. He should be.
Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that when the movie comes. Anyways, make sure to check out all of our social media at KickFlixPod. That's Kickflix. That's like Netflix, but with a kick, and then POD at the end. Make sure to check this out. Mike is at Mike Mercadal. Jeff is at Wayward Sons _67. And I am at Nary Signs. Make sure if you're listening to this, make sure I am headlining the Miami Improv. If you're in the South Florida area, I'm headlining the Miami Improv July 7th. Make sure you get your tickets. $20. Don't be a cheap ass, but make sure to be there, support. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. And that's how kicks are done.
That's how flicks are kicked.